We've all seen the headlines, the breathless commentary, the endless polls. The 2024 election is shaping up to be a nail-biter, a dead heat, a yawn. Are you tired of the charade yet? While the media obsesses over every campaign shake-up and Twitter spat, they're missing, or perhaps deliberately ignoring, the elephant in the room, draped in red, white, and blue. This isn't just another election, folks. This is about the soul of our democracy, and the media, the supposed watchdog of our republic, is asleep at the wheel. Remember 2016? The media was a deer in the headlights, blinded by the spectacle of it all. "This is it," they cried. "Trump's finally gone too far." But we all know how that story ended. The media patted themselves on the back, mistaking outrage for impact, trending topics for tangible consequences. They completely missed the undercurrent, the simmering discontent that Trump so skillfully tapped into. And here we are, facing down the barrel of another Trump campaign. And what has the media learned? Seemingly nothing. They swore 2020 would be different. They promised aggressive investigations, deep dives into the threat Trump posed to the very fabric of American democracy. Pundits and professors alike called for a complete overhaul of the tired old playbook. And for a minute after the January 6th insurrection, it seemed like they might actually mean it. Trump, the twice impeached, 4 times indicted, once convicted felon, was finally going to be exposed for what he truly is. But somewhere along the way, the media tripped over its own feet, falling back on the familiar crutches of electability and swing states. The endless barrage of polls, the microscopic dissection of every Trump tweet. It's all a smokescreen, a distraction from the truly important issues. The media's become a broken record, stuck on repeat while the house burns down around them. They've forgotten or perhaps chosen to ignore the mountain of evidence, the impeachments, the indictments, the insurrection, the blatant attempts to overturn a democratic election. These are not footnotes in the story of the 2024 election. They are the story. Yet, they're relegated to passing mentions, mere whispers in the cacophony of horse race coverage. Just this week, we're inundated with analyses of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s endorsement of Trump and Trump's hesitancy to debate Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, the special counsel's announcement of a new January 6th indictment barely makes a ripple in the endless stream of trivial news. The media suffering from a collective amnesia, blinded by the very monster it created. The warnings are there, the writing's on the wall, but they're too busy chasing ratings to see the forest for the trees. This isn't just about winning an election anymore. It's about the soul of a nation, and the media, the supposed guardians of truth, are failing us in spectacular fashion. The media's obsession with appearances, with the superficial dance of the campaign trail, has blinded them to the rot beneath the surface. They meticulously analyze every poll, every gaffe, every strategic maneuver, as if it were a game of chess, all the while ignoring the termites gnawing away at the very foundation of our democracy. Remember the Access Hollywood tape? The blatant misogyny, the casual talk of assault. The media, clutching their pearls, declared it the final nail in Trump's coffin. But what did they miss? The underlying message resonated with of the population, one that felt ignored, marginalized, even threatened by a changing world. The media, blinded by their own myopia, mistook shock for rejection, failing to grasp the depth of the cultural divide Trump was exploiting. Now we see the same pattern repeating itself. Trump's attacks on democratic norms, his flirtations with authoritarianism, these are not treated as the existential threats they are, but rather as mere campaign tactics, part of his unconventional playbook. The media dissects his every word, every tweet, searching for some hidden meaning, some strategic masterstroke, all the while missing the obvious. Trump thrives on chaos. He thrives on undermining the very institutions designed to hold him accountable. The media, in their desperate attempt to appear balanced, to avoid any whiff of bias, ends up normalizing the abnormal. They treat both sides as equally valid, as if questioning the legitimacy of elections, inciting violence and blatantly lying about facts, We're all just part of the rough and tumble of politics. This isn't about left versus right anymore. It's about right versus wrong. It's about the survival of a system of government built on reason, accountability, and the peaceful transfer of power. The media's obsession with the horse race, with who's up and who's down in the polls, is a dangerous distraction from the real issues at stake. It's like focusing on the score of a football game while ignoring the fact that the stadium is on fire. They're so busy analyzing the game they failed to see the inferno engulfing us all. Let's take a step back from the echo chamber of American politics and journey across the Atlantic, back to 1933 Germany. Imagine the Reichstag, the symbol of German democracy, engulfed in flames. Panic, confusion, accusations fly through the smoke-filled air. In the aftermath, a young democracy, already teetering on the brink, is dealt a fatal blow. The Nazis, masters of propaganda and manipulation, seize the opportunity, using the fire as a pretext to consolidate power, silence dissent, and dismantle the Weimar Republic piece by piece. Now, I'm not drawing a direct line from 1933 Germany to 2024 America. But the Reichstag fire serves as a chilling reminder of how fragile democracy truly is. It highlights the dangers of complacency, of normalizing the erosion of democratic norms, of failing to recognize the warning signs until it's too late. Fast forward to January 6, 2021. The images are seared into our collective memory. A mob, fueled by lies and misinformation, storms the Capitol building, the very heart of American democracy, in an attempt to overturn a free and fair election. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst, a few bad apples. It was a coordinated attack, fueled by years of disinformation and incitement, much of it amplified by the very person who swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. The parallels are undeniable, yet the media seems determined to miss them. They treat January 6th as an isolated incident, a blip on the radar, rather than a symptom of a deeper malaise, a warning sign of a democracy in peril. They focus on the personalities involved, the legal ramifications, the political fallout, but they fail to truly grapple with the underlying cause: the systematic erosion of trust in our institutions, the normalization of lies and disinformation, and the dangerous allure of authoritarianism. Just as the Reichstag fire was not simply an unfortunate accident, but a calculated act of political arson, so too was January 6th, a direct assault on the very foundation of American democracy. And just as the Nazis exploited the chaos and fear in the wake of the Reichstag fire, so too are those who seek to undermine American democracy today using similar tactics. The question is, will we learn from history, or are we doomed to repeat it? The media prides itself on its objectivity, its unwavering commitment to presenting both sides of every story. But what happens when one side is playing a different game altogether? What happens when one side is actively trying to dismantle the very system that allows for free and fair debate? The media's obsession with both-sideism has become a dangerous form of complicity, a silent endorsement of the erosion of our democratic norms. Imagine a boxing match where one fighter adheres to the rules, while the other bites, gouges, and kicks below the belt. Would we praise the referee for their neutrality if they refused to acknowledge the blatant cheating? Would we applaud their balance as one fighter lays bloodied and helpless on the mat? This is not about giving equal weight to opposing viewpoints. It's about recognizing that some actions are simply beyond the pale of acceptable political discourse. When a candidate incites violence, spreads demonstrably false information, and attacks the very foundations of our democracy, it is not biased to call it out. It's a moral imperative. The media's fear of appearing partisan, of alienating of their audience has rendered them impotent in the face of a very real threat. They've become so fixated on the appearance of fairness, they've lost sight of the truth. And in the process, they've allowed a dangerous narrative to take root, one where facts are subjective, truth is relative, and the very idea of a shared reality is up for debate. This isn't journalism, it's a dereliction of duty. The press has a responsibility to hold power accountable, to expose wrongdoing, and to provide the public with the information they need to make informed decisions. But they can't do that if they're too busy trying to appease both sides, to avoid any hint of controversy. The truth is often messy, uncomfortable, and deeply divisive. But it is the truth nonetheless, and it is the one thing a healthy democracy cannot survive without. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. I love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Share this video with your friends to help spread the word. Thank you.